Hey, what's going on, everyone? Slide here with Flo. And Flo, man, one of my favorite players growing up as a kid, Ed McCaffrey, man. I liked him so much. He was like kind of like Jawan Jennings of the time, just because I remember he was such a great blocker. And this dude had like freaking guns. I was like, dude, where's this guy who like work out, man? Like as a kid, I noticed that. I was like, dude, I love Ed McCaffrey. And then when he went to Denver, I was like, what the fuck? How do we get rid of Ed McCaffrey? But we were so talented then with Jerry Rice, Brent Jones, and the list goes on. Ricky Waters was our running back in that last Super Bowl. So he said some things that I was like, oh yeah, heck yeah, man. I was like so pumped up the way he was just talking about Brock. And he even talked about a cool story about Christian McCaffrey when he came the first few days he was here with the 49ers. Let's check this out real quick.
Now we got to ask you about Brock Purdy. And it's not just about what you think of him as a player, but what you think about how sort of the national discourse has treated him. And if you would have any opinion or advice on how he should filter that out or use it as fuel.
Yeah, I'd say go do your thing, man, because whatever he's doing is working, right? And I got to hit a Brock early because when Christian got traded from Carolina, his first game as a 49er was against the Chiefs, and he didn't even practice a full practice. What he did was get together with Brock Purdy and go through every single play in the offense. And at the end of a workout or two, he called me and said, this dude knows what he's doing. He knows our whole entire offense inside and out. He threw him the ball a little bit to get him loose and run through the routes, and he's like, he's really good. And so that's the first time I heard of him. And then, talking with Kyle, and now we've heard from Kyle publicly, he thought he was the best quarterback on the roster his rookie season. And as fate would have it, he got in the game and has done nothing but perform. So I thought Kyle Shanahan on opening night did a phenomenal job of explaining this narrative surrounding a game manager, a system quarterback, and an elite quarterback. And Brock has done all three. You don't luck your way into leading in statistical categories at the end of the year, especially average yardage per reception, which he leads the league in, right? And so, yes, he manages the game. You have to. You're a quarterback. You're the coach on the field. Every quarterback plays in a system. Lamar Jackson plays in a system. Not every quarterback plays in that system, right? You highlight your quarterback skill set. Then the elite quarterbacks, like we saw in the second half versus Detroit, where he led the team down 17, they can make plays that other quarterbacks might not be able to make. And Brock has made every throw. He's come from behind. Every time they have some kind of negative shade they're throwing his way, he just destroys that narrative.
Following up on the Brock thing, sort of the nonsense question, the Radio Row question, which is the noise, whether it's Cam Newton or Ryan Clark or these people. I don't know. Do you have an opinion on how that stuff affects the modern player? Flipping on ESPN, and Ryan Clark says, the hardest thing I had to do was pretend that he belonged with Mahomes. And then Cam Newton saying he's the 10th best player. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, you hear it, right? You're human. If someone tells you, I used to not listen to too much of what was said in the media, but occasionally your friend or someone in your family, oh, did you hear what so-and-so said? Like,
which is even worse, by the way.
Yeah,
they tell you that way.
I'll say this. Sometimes it hurts a little more if there's a guy that played the game makes a comment like that, because it's easy, even though it's not true, to dispel media. Well, he didn't play, that's why he said it, even if that's not the case. But when a guy that played the game says something, you hear it. But, when you play the quarterback position, right, one quarterback plays. So from the time you're 6 and you play quarterback, you have to beat out all these other dudes on your team every year for your whole life. And in college, they bring in guys, they sign new recruits. In the NFL, they sign other quarterbacks to compete with you. And so these guys, all these starting quarterbacks in the NFL, they're wired to compete.
Yeah.
And so they block out the noise pretty easily. You're playing in a playoff game against Detroit down 17 in the second half. Like, you have to block out all the noise. And the one thing I like about Brock is he keeps that same demeanor no matter what's going on the field. I think it's the same way off the field.
Yeah, it's true. He's got this serenity about him. And he says he's faith-based. It's that kind of stuff. Whatever it is, he's just got this calm. And we'll see Sunday, though.
All right, man. So that's a kind of cool story about him and Brock Purdy working together, getting ready for the Chiefs game, and how Christian called his dad. I was like, dude, this guy's pretty good right here. But what do you think about this whole thing he talked about? And what do you think, man?
Yeah, man, that was a dope story, and it shows just how freaking smart Brock Purdy is. That how Christian McCaffrey was like, dude, this guy knows the entire freaking playbook. I remember at this time,
he's a rookie.
It was a rookie, and that was around the halfway point of their season that year, maybe a little bit further.
It was before because before the trade down like week 8, so it's probably week 7, something
so
like that.
It's only week 7, and this guy already knows the entire playbook pretty much in and out. And Christian McCaffrey was able to see that. I was like, dang, like this guy knows his shit pretty much, and it's true because Brock Purdy is able to. He just understands the game of football just in a different level than most people do. Obviously, there's guys like your Tom Brady's and stuff who are up there also as well. But it's like, man, in 7 weeks, this guy was able to figure it out. And then other stuff that Ed McCaffrey touched on too that I really liked was how he's able to block things out. Obviously, the whole Cam Newton thing, he's like, usually when the media talks, he's like, okay, you kind of brush it off because you're like, all right, they're just media. But former colleagues, people who are in your sport, sometimes that does affect you, especially as an athlete. It's like when somebody comes up to you, it's like, hey, like, you're not that good. And you're like, wait, what the heck? If you're a competitor, that's one of the hardest things to hear. But Brock Purdy, he's just so relaxed. He's like, all right, whatever, kind of brushes it off. So it just shows his composure, especially at such a young age. Most time, young people, they kind of flip. They hear something and they take it so personally, but this guy's just relaxed in his own skin. He doesn't really care. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go do my thing. At the end of the day, I'll do whatever I can, and that's all I could do. Yeah. And he's happy with that. He's content with that. So I like these nuggets that Ed McCaffrey shared. But, man, what did you think about this?
Yeah, when he was talking about that Chiefs game, I vividly remember at the end of the game, Brock Purdy coming in the last drive and driving down the field. And I was like, dude, like he was driving, because we couldn't drive down the damn field against the Chiefs. I think we had some success early, but then remember Jimmy threw that bonehead interception at the 2-yard line where he just threw it up in the air, and we're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then the floodgates open, you know. And then Brock Purdy came in, he was driving down the field. I was like, oh fudge, yeah. And it looked like he was gonna get a touchdown, then he threw that interception at the end. So I was like, damn it. So we really didn't know that much, but you saw something there. It was like, who knew? But Ed McCaffrey, man, he's someone that I respect so much just because the dude was so great in Denver. That's when he really flourished, like, to becoming like an absolute stud. And I mean, he was right, man. Brock Purdy, dude, he's a dude that doesn't really, no matter what people say, he always stays the same. We talked about that in the other video. He always stays like the same. He's lasered in no matter what. Even if he's down 17, if he's up 17, he's still gonna be the same Brock Purdy. You know, you see him on the sideline, people talk to him, and he's just like okay, like lasered in, like, dude, I'm thinking about the game, like, leave me the F alone or something like that. That's what it's about. And he's such a smart dude. Like, that Wonderlic test, you could tell why he's like one of the smartest dudes in the NFL, because he's just always dialed in, thinking about the next play. And Ed McCaffrey's so right, dude. You can't be a quarterback that leads the NFL in so many damn stats and be considered like, oh, it's luck. Like, you know, we hear that from other guys, you know, it's luck. Like, dude, you can't. It's impossible. You have to be a really badass player to lead the categories in so many things. And he was talking about the air yards. He's like, dude, he's like #1 in air yards. That like there's a huge thing. And people were still like, oh, he's check down Charlie or something like that, like Charlie Batch or something. But no, man, Ed McCaffrey 100% on the mark, man. And about the whole Cam Newton situation, yeah, dude, like a colleague out there kind of saying, oh, you're trash. That's what it probably hurts the most, you know. But even Brock, when at the media, he was just like, it is what it is. Like, I don't really take no meaning to it, which is, it's better than any of us, you know, because all of us, we've all done that sports where someone calls you out, you're like, oh, F you, mother. Like, you want to throw down or something. But Brock Purdy just shows you how smart he is, man. How much of you know, just like an old soul, I guess you could say, just the way his thought process is about everything on and off the field, no matter what. If he's in the game, out of the game, he's always, you know, it seems like one step ahead of everyone else, and it's absolutely amazing what he's able to do. But I love absolutely what Ed McCaffrey said, and it just brought back childhood memories, man. When he was talking, I was like, oh man, this is awesome right here.
Yeah, man, and like you said, how about that whole stats thingy, it's not like it was just a game or two. He did this for 17 games, that he was able to stay in that top 1 or 2 categories, ranks, and pretty much just multiple categories. It wasn't like it was just like a quick little snippet and then he fell off. You know, he did this, and even last year, he was putting up some pretty good numbers as well, and people don't even talk about that as either. So it's not a fluke. This guy knows what he's doing. When he's out there, he's under control, and he just knows how to read these damn defenses at the end of the day, and that's what makes him so successful. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to do this for years to come, just because me and you talk about this all the time. He hasn't had an offseason at all. Obviously, that rookie year, he didn't get much of the snaps. Last year, he was injured most of the time. So pretty much all his experiences come from game experience, and he's still able to succeed. He hasn't really even got to practice. So once he starts getting in those practices in the offseason, man, this guy's going to get even better, because you know this guy, he's a hard worker, and like you said, he's just humble at the end of the day. So this guy, like you always quote that Jordan, the ceiling is the roof. That's the thing for Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man. Remember when Jimmy Garoppolo was our quarterback? I think we were averaging like 22 points a game last year, around that. When Brock Purdy came in, it just jumped to like 27, 28 points a game, which is huge. Any 1 point is a nice jump, but he like jumped 4 points, and this year we're averaging like 30 points a game. So it's amazing, man. This is like one of the best offenses, like, let's be real, of all time. Like, I think we finished number 2 overall, but I think we're number 1 in DVOA. So this offense right here has been pretty much like historic, man. It really has. And if we could cap off with that ring, kind of like that Kurt Warner story, it would be amazing, man. And I think he could do it, man. I really feel that he could lead this team to victory. Now, do I want him throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game? Hell no, man. I want to run the damn ball in that Super Bowl. I want to give it to Ed's son, Christian, a lot, early and often. So if we win because of that, give me the ball, heck yeah, we'll take that 100%. But Brock Purdy is the main reason why this team is here right now. We would not be here without Brock Purdy. So I think he gets the job done. I think this team gets the job done. And Ed McCaffrey, man, the guy's a legend. He's a 40. I know he was only there with the Niners for 1 year, but I remember that like it was yesterday, man. I was just like, I love this dude, and he went on to flourish, man. So
yeah, and like Ed McCaffrey said, this is for with Shanahan. Do like your dad says. Do what you always do every single day. Don't switch it up in the last moment. Run the ball, man. Run the ball. Don't get away from it. Remember what happened in 2019? We ran the ball, but then for some reason we stopped at the end of the game. Don't do that. You do everything the same every single day. So don't, just because it's a Super Bowl, don't change it up. We'll be fine.
And I think he is gonna maybe throw the ball quite a bit still in the fourth quarter for some reason. But I feel confident that he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'll say it right now. I think he's better than Ryan Leaf. And that's tough because Ryan Leaf was the MVP, the first pick in the draft. But I mean, Brock Purdy, the guy's so damn smart, man. The guy's so damn smart. And if we have to lead a comeback win, I'll be hella nervous, but I think he could do it. I know he could do it. So just crossing my fingers, man. All
right, well, you guys let us in the comments what you guys think about what Ed McCaffrey said. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.